you guys could be my nipples now.
Right.
Talking nipples on my chest.
That way. Hello.
Hey, man, rub me.
Hey. It's been a while. I got a little raw when you went jogging the other day. Oh, you weren't jogging? What the hell were you doing?
I wasn't jogging, I'll tell you that.
Put some Bengay on me.
There was a lot of, I don't know, there's something happening. I don't know.
Is that your nipple voice?
You need to go over there.
That's Brendan's nipple voice.
Nipple voice.
It's the nipple.
My nipple voice is like, damn.
My name's Nippy Nipple,
my
in fact.
Touch me, man.
Welcome to another episode of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker on this May 11th, 2022. Our client for today is kill, marry, or fornicate with your lunch, or something like that.
Yeah,
Title
that's
ever.
exactly what we talked about.
Worst title
Kill,
ever
marry,
had.
or pork your pork. Kill, marry.
Fornicate your pork, I think, is where we were headed, but no one wanted to say
Ooh,
it.
that rolls off the tongue. Fornicate your pork.
Fornicate your pork.
Behold, trapped in a hellscape of their own invention, socially unaware old white men bound by the pretense of being fake lawyers yet knowing no law, no exquisite Latin terminology, they are inexplicably compelled to quibble over minutia, squabble over triflings, and bicker like those who value their backyards far too highly without even knowing the difference between an easement and an alleyway. At this very moment, you have entered the heart of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. Let's get started.
Now, we do not have a fake sponsor for today, everybody. But what we do have is finally me realizing that there is stuff that we actually sell. If anybody's interested, go to our website at www.qsblaw.org. That's qsblaw.org. There's a little link on that page that says merch, 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 which means we have merchandise. It's not anything special, really. It's basically our three faces on things. So we have cups and mugs and t-shirts and tapestries and iPhone cases. That's what's currently been made.
Don't we have prophylactics now?
No, actually, this show is a prophylactic, so it should be the thing that works.
Do we have poodle panties yet?
No.
Yeah, we do, Greg. That's and we have rubber masks.
Are we working on poodle panties?
We're doing rubber masks and rubber balls with our
Panties
faces
for your
on
poodles.
it. This is like
Oh.
only fetish wear in our merch store. So,
we can have it where they have a butt plug and it's like one of our faces on the end of it.
yeah, there's a pocket rocket with Greg's face on it. It's designed to actually cause people to run from the room.
Pocket rocket?
Yes.
I don't even know what this is. This must be a West Coast thing I've never heard of. I
I
hear
know
of the
about
dark
it.
side
I
of
got
the
a rocket in
moon.
my pocket and the fuse is lit. That song. I thought
Also,
that was
we do have a Patreon account, everybody. There's one thing associated with it because I have not really figured out what the hell to do with Patreon, but that's www.patreon.com/QSBlaw, I believe is the actual link to that. So that's our sponsor for today. It's weird,
Yeah.
but the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker are being brought to you by the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker.
I'd just like to throw out there for anyone who wants to become a Patreon, at least at the minimum $15 a month level.
I think the minimum is $5 or $3.
I'm saying 15 though. For 15, they
Uh-huh.
can just DM me on Twitter and we can work out what they want. You know what I'm saying?
I thought you were saying that they could work out with you on Twitter.
I can dungeon master with you.
Sure, that'd be great. That'd be the best option, actually.
If you're
I thought he was going to do like
good
exercise
soul.
videos on Twitter because he was going to
Yeah.
work out with them, he said.
No, that's a TikTok thing I'm working on.
Oh, that's good.
Say,
Well, okay.
Do you think it
So,
might be a good idea that I do a fake sponsor off the top of my head since I'm really out of my head right now?
if you would like to give us a fake
Hey, that's
sponsor, Greg,
terrible,
right
though,
now,
I'm saying.
go ahead. If
Should I
you
just
are
do it?
so inclined, just do it. Just do it
go,
randomly
go, man.
off your head.
This-
We will be here wrapped.
This summer on Netflix, the streaming service that has brought you such great documentaries as Cooking with Gasoline and My Wife, My Enemy, comes the most weighted crime drama in years, Waspy Soda Pop. Villain or Not. Waspy Soda Pop is the
Villain or not, all that. That was no. I want it marked in the permanent record that he doesn't get to just hot mic ad libs shit.
villain or hero.
Villain
For the future.
or not.
Waspy Soda Pop will he save the universe or destroy it? And so the World Wildlife Federation, the WWF, not the Wrestling League, has declared Waspy Soda Pop public enemy #1 because of his fast and loose rules of culinary stuff.
Is stuff a legal term?
Yes.
Are we actually still talking about
He
this?
has committed more crimes for his recipes than Al Qaeda and the Black Hand combined. So this
Waspy
is
Soda
fascinating.
Pop will be played by who?
By
I
the
think
Black
Matt
Hand, I
Bracci.
think.
I believe Matt Bracci would have to play Waspy Soda Pop.
He's
Matt
much more
Bracci.
svelte than I am, and his ears are stick out more.
I know, but you guys have a lot of similarities.
Oh, really? Like what?
Vocal cords.
Hey, I have a question. I just noticed that the sign up there says "Deliver Happiness."
Yes.
Are we living up to our mission objective? I don't
I
think.
think
we are.
we're making each
I don't
other
see
happy
that.
right now.
Where's I don't see a sign.
It is. It's above your head and a little to the right.
Yep. There's a
Oh, I'm
sign.
blocking it.
You're blocking it with your head? As your
Well, I
head
see a
gets
plant.
larger and larger.
When I move, I see a plant. What are
Really?
you guys talking about?
When I
Okay, so
move, I
guys-
see a plant.
When
If
I
you have
move,
That's
I
a
see-
t-shirt slogan.
If you have Netflix, watch Waspy Soda Pop, villain or not.
yeah,
Coming
we
this summer.
moved on minutes ago. I was lost. You had
Well,
you
we
had
have,
me with. I saw a plant.
But
when I
no,
move,
because
I
that's all
see a plant.
I see a fern or
Yeah.
I see a fern.
some
That's
kind of
not a fern.
succulent. A succulent behind me. I see.
Is
no
it a
sign.
is it a cell fern, Greg?
I don't.
I don't know.
I don't think that's a succulent.
Is that how
Greg.
Waspy Soda Pop says cell phone? Cell phone.
I just know it says "Deliver Happiness," and
I don't see that. It's so weird.
Well, I pointed out, but I don't know if it would do any good. Yeah, my finger goes out of the.
I do not see
no,
any.
no, it's yeah.
I do have a. Is that bottom half of your screen a gray?
It's over
gray
there.
with a-
It's a
Bar-
desk,
there's-
Greg. We're sitting at a desk.
I know, but I see no sign.
Is Greg periscoping this or something? What is he?
Oh,
Oh my
what he's
god! I can see to the left and right. I can. There it is. Now I see it.
It's wow. He's like Sir Richard Burton finding the headwaters of the Nile.
Yes, it wasn't in my field of vision. When I looked, there was no sign, but then I swiped over and I could see the city outside. It looks
You-
like
Yeah. Looks like New York,
He's
probably.
so excited.
yeah, it's
I know,
we're in
it's
New York
like-
City.
He's like a little kid. He's
this is
so
like that
happy.
game Mist with a Y, where I can discover things by
This is how.
very dull, very boringly.
And then
discover things.
suddenly he could see.
For Greg, it's not Where's Waldo. It's Where's Porno.
I don't think there's any of that here.
Well, he's getting his happiness delivered to him. So there
Oh,
maybe.
there's some. Oh, that's what it is. Oh,
Right.
I-
Speaking of which, we do have a client to address, which is kill, marry, or fuck your lunch. So
pork. I thought it was fornicate or pork.
it was porkinate.
Porkinate. Okay.
I'm so confused. Aren't you glad you picked cooking, Greg? So
Oh,
it
we have
fully
to come
could
up with the shittiest title ever. I didn't say, hey, let's have the shittiest title so we can talk about cooking. I didn't say that. I said,
Uh-huh.
sorry.
Yeah. You just said talk about cooking. So it's
Yeah.
like, all right, look,
That's a
I
valid
put an
topic.
egg in a pan and
Everyone
I
likes
flipped it
cooking.
over. And
Oh my
then
God,
I
I
ate
talk
it.
about cooking.
This cooking.
Most of my
this is,
conversations are about cooking. When I cooked last night, what I ate, what I made for myself. Me and my friends, it's a thing.
Most of your conversations are about what you made for yourself for dinner last night.
yeah. And
What the
they're
hell kind
terrible.
of useless conversations are you having, Greg?
I'm a foodie, I guess.
You're
And I
not
eat
a
that-
foodie. You eat out of
No.
dumpsters.
I know, and yet I still love talking about like what sandwich
I
made
never
last night.
realized it. He's a raccoon.
I'm a possum.
He's a raccoon.
No,
That's,
you're more of a raccoon. I think he's right about
That's
that.
alive.
I'm serious though. Like everyone I know talks about cooking. Like, what'd you have for dinner last night? They'll be like, "Ooh, I made this thing. I took pasta and I did this."
So it's like asking what someone has for dinner is like the new statement of what's the weather like.
It's
like
not
that's
new. It's
not
forever.
new.
It's
What?
not new. It's not new. It's been around forever. Me and my friends have always be like, "What'd you make last night?" Like, even if it's a sandwich.
I think
Oh,
these
what'd
are
you put on?
imaginary friends. I don't think these are real friends you're
No,
talking
they're
about.
not. I
So
love.
all you guys talk about, like seriously, like, hey, Greg, hey, Steve, hey, you know what I did? What's that? I cooked spaghetti last night. No shit.
Ooh,
Yeah,
what'd you
I
put in
boiled
it?
water.
You
and I
know what?
put it in
90% of
noodles.
Americans will say, "What'd you do last night?" "Oh, I watched the NFL game." "Oh, can you believe that that guy threw a ball and it went into that
There's
guy's
no-
hands, and then the guy ran?" It's like, to me, I don't have sports. Me and my friends like to be like, "What'd you make last night for dinner?" "Ooh, tell me, what'd you do?"
Yeah. The difference is I and probably 99% of everyone I would ever talk to would never be able to do what that guy did. Anyone can make
No,
spaghetti
true.
like Steve did. This isn't. This is like, hey, I took a shit. Oh yeah, I took a shit too.
Okay, so we're different people, but some people like to talk about food. My dad was like that. My dad would listen to the radio shows about cooking. He'd love to tell his patients. He was a dentist.
I love cooking, and if somebody wanted to talk to me about cooking, I could geek the shit out. I love cooking. I watch cooking shows. You were suggesting that this was the first thing out of you and your friend's mouth, and I was like,
Not the
I like
first thing.
cooking. Oh, okay.
I might say I
He'll say
I
hello,
masturbated
and then he'll
8
talk
times
about
last
cooking.
night.
Hello, I made.
Let me tell you what I made last night.
yeah.
I put this thing in the microwave.
But when my friends tell me about some elaborate dinner they made, I'm like all ears. I'm just like, "Ooh, do tell."
But that's
Ooh,
every night, though.
Dude,
Every
Well,
night
not
they're telling you about the elaborate dinner they made.
Not every night. I don't have that many friends, so
The elaborate breakfast they made.
yeah, breakfasts. Yeah, sure. There's
Sure.
some great breakfasts you make. I've
Right.
been eating.
You take the Pop
what I've
Tart,
been-
you stick it in the
brunches.
toaster, and
You know, I've
turn
been
it on.
making that. I feel like such a fancy pants. I've been making polenta and then putting an egg on it, very continental style.
oh,
And just eating polenta with an egg, a
Which-
sunny side up egg.
Which
You break the
continent?
yolk.
Antarctica?
No, Italy. The kind
So
of
are
The
you-
continent of Italy?
are you actually
Europe?
making the? Are you
European?
hand making the polenta?
I swear to God, it's the simplest thing to make, but it's like it feels so fancy. It's like polenta with and then you break the yolk, let the yolk soak into the polenta. It's amazing.
Well, anybody knows how to break a yolk, Greg, but how do you make a polenta?
Polenta, I have this mix that you add water and you heat it up like.
Oh, so
cream
you're
of
not
wheat.
making it from
Okay.
scratch.
It's
Then.
like cream of wheat. It's like cream
Yeah,
of
no,
wheat.
no, no. You can do it that way. You can buy it in these tubes.
Oh yeah, I've done that too. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. And I was under the impression you were a foodie
He was
and were actually
fancy, right?
hand making the plant. I was like,
No, this is
damn.
way cheaper though. It's cheaper to buy the bag of flour. It's like flour. You buy a big bag.
Well, yeah, a box of
Just
wine
mix
is
in the water.
cheaper than a 1965 bottle of whatever.
But I
sure.
mean, guys, give me some credit as far as
No.
I know. I was joking about being a foodie, but most people for breakfast have cornflakes or a granola bar. I fucking make polenta with a
That's
beautiful
nice.
sunny side of egg on it.
But you don't actually make polenta.
I make it. I mean, I don't mill the corn. Sorry. Sorry, Matt. I'm not a fucking farmer next to a mill.
I'm gonna get a T-shirt.
But
or
it's
another
just that you're
T-shirt.
presenting making the polenta as like some gourmet thing when really all it is like you're pouring it into a bowl
Well, I have to cook it. I mean, it's just the fact
and
that
heating it up like
instead
anybody
of
can do with
just eating an
oatmeal,
egg,
Greg, and put an egg
I
on it.
Yeah,
make
but-
polenta.
Now, to Greg's point, he could have made oatmeal or
Yeah.
fucking top ramen,
Yeah.
but he didn't. He did the instant polenta. So I mean,
So he
That-
used
that's-
something that's not as commonly used, but just as
Yeah,
easily made. But
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
even
that's-
easier made.
but it's progress.
I don't know
progress.
that it's as long as he didn't get it out of a trash can, it's progress.
No, but I doctor the polenta. I put cheddar cheese in it, I melt it in. I put all
I
these
mean,
big seasonings in it, spices in it. I put garlic powder.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
for me. That's
So your
fancy.
spices is just garlic powder,
Garlic powder, black pepper, some salt.
some salt, so salt and pepper, basic seasoning.
Yeah, but most people aren't eating that for breakfast. Most people are eating a fucking granola bar and say right out the door.
I don't know how you can speak for most people, Greg. You don't know
Because I
most
know
people.
most people. I
Don't
know
they
everyone.
mostly juice now? Like they do juice or they drink dirt or something. That's kind of what I've seen.
They drink dirt.
Bone
Yeah, no,
marrow.
there's some.
I actually ate bone marrow last night. I went to a tapas restaurant and
Fancy.
yeah, I was taking my mother out for a belated Mother's Day because she wasn't feeling well on Mother's Day. So I took her out to a little restaurant around here called De Fuego, and we had tapas. And it was kind of like a family style thing where we had like some rainbow trout and shrimp ceviche, and it was very nice.
Wow.
So yeah, and they had
which of the
polenta in a
three-
tube that you could just eat out of the tube.
Okay, so we got
They
two
have
foods
polenta
here.
and egg
We got
on the menu?
polenta in a tube. We got some. What did you say? Some rainbow trout.
Rainbow trout,
Yeah.
We need a
which is
third
gay
food.
trout. That's gay. Gay
I'm
trout.
going to throw out the third food is liverwurst sandwich.
Uh-huh.
So now
Oh,
love
right.
shit.
There's a game we're playing.
that's right. So now
We're
you have
playing
to
the
decide
game, listeners.
which one you would do what to. Would you pork this? Would you kill that and marry it? You have to choose between the
Interesting.
three.
The rainbow
Okay, I
trout
would
was
marry
pretty good.
liverwurst sandwiches because I've had a lifelong relationship with liverwurst,
Okay.
and I want
Where's
to continue
liverwurst?
it. I want to grow old with liverwurst.
And
Like I
kill?
could marry liverwurst. Yeah, I love liver. Like Braunschweiger.
Braunschweiger.
Take a
comes in that
Braunschweiger.
tube.
Yes.
I love
Another
it.
tube. Greg eats out of tubes. He's actually an astronaut.
So
Greg is
which
the man
one-
who fell to Earth.
So we got to marry. Who are
The
you gonna
fat man.
fornicate with? Are you gonna fornicate
So
with
wait.
trout or polenta?
I bet polenta would be better on your dick. Feel nicer. It's mushy.
Good call.
Just like I told you guys, I
There
fucked
were
a
no
pizza dough.
bones in the trout, just so you know.
But remember, I told you I fucked a pizza dough when I was working at a grocery store when I was 18, and that felt so. It seems like a similar thing, like nice mushy.
Yeah, I think that's a good story. So then on the
So then you kill the rainbow trout.
you're killing the rainbow trout by default
Yeah.
at this point.
But,
Yeah,
but
fish-
technically, the trout is dead already,
Well, you're killing it again.
and it has been killed.
Yeah, fish have no
Yeah.
feelings.
It's being
Though, so you
killed-
don't have
it's
to
being
feel
killed
guilty about
again.
it.
You don't
I'm
know
calling
if
in
fish
from
have
the
no
future.
feelings.
Don't doubt what I'm talking about.
You look kind of like the early day Ant-Man
The early day Ant-Man. Hello, calling all cars.
from the
Ant-Man here.
1960s or something.
It looks like Spice Smasher.
Who?
Spice Smasher.
What is Spy Smasher?
He's a 40s superhero. He smashed spies.
Did you say he's a 40s Sbarro? Did they
Oh,
even have
did you
those
say
restaurants back
spy?
then?
I thought you said spice. I'm like, literally, this guy's like coming in. Hello, give me those peppercorns. I'm Spice Smasher.
Well, he came out after the Spice Girls, and he didn't like them.
Yeah, and then he had
I'm
the
gonna
Spice
smash the
Girls.
Spice Girls. I'm the Spice.
No, I get it. You had me going there for a second.
All right, so Brendan, so what's your choice on those three foods?
Wow, Greg, you had some great choices. I think I'm going to fornicate with the fish.
It was wrapped in a banana peel, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
Nice.
and I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to go ahead and kill the liverwurst
Yeah.
and marry the polenta.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to kill the polenta. I'm going to
Oh.
marry the fish,
Oh.
and then have sex with the liverwurst because it's kind of the right consistency.
It's also, both of you kind of went that direction, and I get it.
And when I do have liverwurst, I generally have mayonnaise on the sandwich that I make it, so it kind of makes sense, like
Mayonnaise?
visually too.
No mustard, but red onion,
I can do both.
mustard.
It
You put
doesn't
mustard on
just.
it, though, right?
Yeah, I'll do mustard. I'll do onions. I'll
mustard.
do lettuce. I'll do cheese. Whatever I feel in the mood
Okay.
for.
But
Cheese.
I would say I'm going to go with Matt here. De facto liverwurst sandwich is mayonnaise. Like you got to have that almost. It's like a standard. It's like peanut
No.
butter and jelly.
What are you talking about?
Well, you put peanut butter and jelly on liverwurst too?
No, but
No,
I-
but I had peanut butter and bologna, which is kind of similar.
Peanut butter.
I've
and
seen
bologna.
peanut butter and ham sandwiches for one summer. I don't know if I was going through childhood menopause or something, but I for like
Probably.
when I was
Childhood
12.
menopause.
Yeah, one whole summer. Or
That
maybe I
one
was
summer
pregnant.
when you were
What does
11.
that even mean?
I don't know.
Childhood
Well, for
menopause?
some
Were you
reason,
having hot
Uncle
flashes
Steve.
as a kid?
I guess when I was 12, for some reason, the whole summer, I loved peanut butter and ham sandwiches. And then I never ate them again, never wanted to, but I loved them. So I don't know what I was going through. Like, I was pregnant, maybe.
Did your nipples hurt a
Or
little bit at the time?
did you have
They get a little
menopause or were
hairy.
you pregnant, Greg? There's like a
I
difference
don't
between
know.
the two.
I mean, it was like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Junior.
It's like
Arnold
Who was that
Braunschweiger?
again?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's Arnold Braunschweiger.
Braunschweiger.
Arnold Braunschweiger.
He was
I
the
still say-
governor of Rhode Island.
Braunschweiger, you got to marry though because you want to spend the rest of your life with Braunschweiger.
Nah,
The other ones,
I do liverwurst Braunschweiger sporadically through the year, so it's not something I necessarily have to have a long relationship with. It's like
you know why it's sustainable though? It's cheap as fuck. You get a big thing for $3. Rainbow trout, you can't afford that bitch. If that's your wife, you know,
Well,
he's like, sorry.
That's
You're
why you
like
do
a
what I
modern
did.
trout.
You just do the dirty and move on. There's no keeping that around.
Yeah, but if you marry the rainbow trout,
I was just looking at
trout-
like how
trout.
it would make you feel, over time. So I think that the trout has more longevity in terms of being happy to have it more often.
A dead trout?
Yeah, I just couldn't afford it. That's too fancy. That's like marrying.
We're not
some
looking-
Hollywood
we're not-
starlet.
This wasn't.
Just pretend like money is not a factor, Greg.
We're not doing the economic Hunger Games. What would you do with this dumb food?
I would shoot my bow and arrow.
It all
into
comes
the rainbow
down
trout.
to what is Greg willing to drag out of the trash to eat. That's really what it comes down to. That's
really
what he'll eat.
Because that's what I'll be ending up eating when I get kicked out of this apartment, which is any year now.
Okay.
Well, I mean, at some time we all must go.
So I want to ask you guys, what was the first time you cooked something? I mean, it could have been when you were a kid. Some kids are pretty prodigious when they're kids, but what's the first thing you ever said, wow, I cooked something amazing? This is my thing.
I don't think I ever cooked anything amazing until like I was divorced.
Yeah. Was it to woo other women in? Did you learn how to cook because you were like, oh, I could
No,
tell
I
them-
think what is actually after I think I got married the second time, and I had a whole bunch of kids living with us, and so I started getting creative with cookbooks and going, what can I make for everybody for family dinner that could be nice?
It's like microwavable meatloaf.
No, didn't do microwavable meatloaf.
You
Making
did.
an actual
I've seen a
meatloaf
video.
though.
I've
An
seen a
actual
video.
meatloaf. Oh, that. Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Right.
Oh, that
the
was
link-
later. That was
Put the
later,
link
Greg.
Today, will you put the link later?
Link later? Like art link later?
Art link
Lancelot
later.
Link secret cook. No, put the link because Matt has.
You want the link to the American Fine Dining episode? I
yes
guess, of making.
microwave meatloaf, which was
It was horrible.
it looked
Sounds terrible.
But Greg would have eaten it.
I probably would have. Yeah.
He would have. It's true. Hey,
Was
we've
it
got
Dr.
23
Price?
likes on TikTok already.
They're liking us now.
They
hate
are
us.
like-
not
people
bad
like
today because
food.
we're not talking racist stuff today. So that's
I
good.
told you, people like food, and black people like.
People like food, Greg. That's an easy thing to say because people have to live.
Yes, but
You know what I
people
really
love
like
talking
is
about food.
air. Air is like
Food-
super cool to
You
me.
guys, after sex, food is the best pleasure in the world. Like every day, you get this amazing, pleasurable thing, and I think people take it for granted. Sometimes they're like, "That food. What am I going to eat?"
I think you need to stop getting the polenta in the tube, and you might that scale of sex to food might change.
I eat other things. I eat some damn good shit. But I'm saying, food
Wait,
is
so you
like-
eat some damn good shit. So what are you
food is
talking
an
about?
easy pleasure. The food is like it's always there.
What are you
there's
talking
always
about,
some-
Greg?
Even if you're not rich like me, I can go get a like on sale at Safeway an amazing frozen pizza from DiGiorno and be like, "This is fucking amazing. This is so pleasurable. I love this. I can't believe I'm like on the poverty level and I can experience this amount of pleasure."
I just have to say that with this new little thing I did with Zoom, you guys could be my nipples now.
He needs
We
to
almost
move more
are.
over
You're
the
like
other direction.
I have to move over
talking
here, though.
nipples on my
Yeah,
chest.
that way. Hello.
Hey man, rub me.
Hey. It's been a while. I got a little raw when you went jogging the other day. Oh, you weren't jogging? What the hell were you doing?
I wasn't jogging, I'll tell you that.
It's a Bengay on me.
There was a lot
It's
of
a
like,
Bengay.
I don't know. There's something happening. I don't know.
Is that your
you
nipple
need to go
voice?
over there.
That's Brendan's nipple voice.
Nipple voice.
It's the nipple.
My nipple voice is like, damn.
My
man.
name's Nippy
Touch
Nipple.
my
In fact,
Touch me, man. That's my nipple voice.
Crack me up. All right, let's get you guys off my chest. So, onto a wall. Off the chest, onto a wall.
I think I like this one most of all.
Greg isn't a fan of this because it's so stark and hermetic. I think that's the right
Yeah,
word.
this is truly kind of. I'm much more of a minimalist, stark.
Ah, that makes sense. So we have to come up with 3 new foods for us to address.
Let me think here.
So I guess each of us pick one thing, and that'll be it. So,
Well, you don't have to. We could just talk about cooking, like I wanted.
yeah, but you didn't discuss it with us, Greg. So it doesn't matter
I
what
said,
you
What would you
want.
like to talk? What aspect of cooking would you like to talk about? All right,
That was
Do
a
you
question
like
I asked
cooking?
that he never answered.
Do you guys like cooking? Nobody
I love
asked
cooking.
me anything. Nobody asked me
Huh?
shit.
I did. Look at your text, you dickhead.
No, I was at work. I couldn't see shit. My job doesn't pay me to look at my phone like a fucking millennial and be like, hey, who's texting me? I'm going to check my Facebook while I'm washing dishes.
Yeah, but you get off work at like 3. You could have looked at it after that.
Yeah, but then we have our drinking
Yeah,
time at work. You get a free mimosa.
so your lie has been exposed.
It's not a lie.
Yes,
I
it is.
No, because that I will
You're
not
not.
look
You
at my
weren't
phone.
working, so you could check your phone.
I'm talking to my friends at work. That's more important. I just thought cooking would have been pretty self-explanatory.
When you are a superhero, your superhero name will be Excuse Man.
It's not an
Your
excuse.
power is the reason why not.
There's a difference between an excuse and a reason.
Uh-huh.
so
What's the
Greg,
difference, Greg?
I had a very good reason not to look
No.
at my phone.
No, you didn't.
What's your favorite type of cuisine to cook? Are you a steak and taters guy? You're a
He's a meat in a tube guy.
Asian fusion person, or Tex-Mex? Do you like the tacos?
Very
What's the
simple.
thing?
Microwave
But basically,
pizza.
my whole life, when I've cooked for myself, is rice, chicken, and vegetables, shit like that. Like make a stew. Oh, I made some rice.
Stew.
I take some whatever meat I have in the freezer, usually chicken, because
Yeah.
it's cheap,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
vegetables. And then I put all these spices in it. And sometimes it's better than anything I eat in a restaurant. I'm not a good cook.
I need to interrupt for a second. There's like 18 people on TikTok right now. Just letting you guys know, if you want to see both sides of this conversation, go to the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker on YouTube, and you'll get to see us arguing with each other. One person
can't
looks
even
like a
hear us.
bug. What was that, Greg?
They can't even hear us.
They can hear me, but if they go to YouTube, they can hear all
If
three.
they go to
of us because
YouTube,
it's
it's the same thing.
because it's
So-
live streaming on YouTube as well as live streaming on TikTok. Right now.
Yeah, I
Right.
get it, but it still
There
seems
were
like
18, now
really
we're
the
down to
full
10.
YouTube experience. at
We
this
were
point.
down. We're down to 10 now. So we were at 18.
But I'm a
That's
bad
because they left TikTok and went to YouTube.
Maybe they did,
Yeah.
or they just left because that's what usually we wind up down at 1. Yeah, yep, we're down to 3 now.
Well, there
18
you
to
go.
3 like that.
TikTok
Like
is a
that.
fickle bitch.
Well, we got
Um,
North Dakota. At least we got our North Dakota correspondent.
Well, let's just see if anybody's commenting on. Holy crap! There's like comments on YouTube. So from Happy Hour News Team, great goggles from Sanchez El Dorado. I vote villain. Also, he says, I wait all week for this. Never disappoints. And then 4 tongue out of the face emojis from the Happy Hour News Team on YouTube. So
Yay!
they're being active
Thanks,
there.
guys.
They wait all week for this. I think because this week we kind of went out of the gate arguing with each other, like just right
yeah,
at
like
the
old
beginning of the
days.
show. We're just
That's what we
like
do the best.
just doing the whole squabbling. All right, so sorry I interrupted before, Greg. Please do finish your thought.
Which not?
It's your thought is
Oh.
gone.
No,
The-
I'm saying I'm not a good cook, but I know how to make food that I like. I know how to put how much salt I want in it. So I make these very simple dishes. Like I'll make pasta with a shitty bolognese that because I can't afford like Italian sausage and shit.
So you make bolognese.
It's better than most Italian restaurants, but
From
get rid of my
scratch?
gas.
You make bolognese from scratch?
Yeah, I'll take shitty pasta sauce from Safeway that's on sale.
Oh,
Then I'll add hamburger meat and pork, hopefully, if I can afford pork that week.
because
And then I'll
pork
add
is
lots of
cheaper than
spices.
ground beef, Greg.
No, not necessarily. Not always.
Most of the time it is.
Sometimes I get some like chubs of ground beef that are like really cheap.
You get, chubs?
Chubs?
That's what they call it, a chub. That thing, the tube.
That's
Think of
not
the
what I
tubes.
ever knew that a chub was
tube.
called.
The tube, they call it a chub.
Now we
Must
know
be
what's going to happen to the ground beef if we talk about
You never
that.
bought a pork chub?
A chub?
A
Pork
chub?
chub.
Is that
They call
like a
that
unit
A
of
pork
measurement?
chub?
Like
With two
3
Bs.
chubs is equal to a dong, and 5 dongs is a.
I swear to God, it's a term in butchery. In butchery.
In butchery, they call
In butchery.
ground
pork
beef
chub.
a chub?
You've never ever heard of a pork chub?
But it's
No,
got to be a
Greg.
unit of something.
It's a unit of
chub.
Greg's mind.
It's
See,
an
same with
adjective
speculators, they're
in a
like, one
sentence.
pork
It's
chub.
modifying the hamburger. It's a chub, of hamburger. So what is a chub? Is it weight, mass?
A chub is like, actually, I've never seen with hamburger. It's pork chub, which is
What's
like that
the
big,
girth of a chub,
Do you
Greg?
mean
It's
a
like a
chop?
donkey dick.
Like pork chop?
Usually it's like a donkey dick of pork. And sometimes it's marinated. It's like pork chub marinated with.
What's the unit of measurement?
How many chubs in a donkey dick?
I think it's just the shape. It's like, okay, it's a big thing of pork like this.
So
That's
is
a big
one
donkey dick.
chub? I've actually seen the member of a donkey. I mean, is one chub equal to one donkey?
I imagine. I've never seen a donkey dick myself, but
Oh, it's not a small thing.
yeah, I have a good
It's bigger
imagination.
than you and me. Let me just put it that way. That's not saying much, but
With our whole bodies.
no.
It's gigantic.
That's
Yeah.
It's
that's
definitely
a-
got some girth. That's like at least 30 chubs right there.
how many chubs is that?
The hamburger chub
Is
is
it-
like horse
Is it
dick.
like the metric system where there's a and then they're all based on base units of animal?
Yeah.
And at any
Dogs?
point, are these burger chubs circumcised?
They are. Once I cut open take the skin off.
Wait a minute. So it's like
the
the
plastic seal. I-
English foot. Like was
Yeah, I'm
based
like
on the
a
king's
That's
foot.
actually Greg's name for his penis.
Whenever I buy it, I'm
He
just
calls it
English.
the English foot.
The English
I-
foot.
I basically have to put on my rabbi outfit and I moil it every time. I slowly cut the sheath off, which is like the foreskin.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go, yeah. That's my rabbi song.
I've heard it before. It's great.
And you can
Well
tell everybody.
I think that was
this
on
is
the
my rabbi
charts.
song.
They called it the Rabbi Song by Elton John.
Yes.
It was like his remake of his own song.
It may be quite simple,
But
Now
now
that
you're-
the tip's gone.
now I've got a dong, a big donkey dong.
Oh, pork chub, where are you?
Gotta get to the bottom of pork chub.
Yeah, I can't believe I did not make this up, guys. There's a thing called a pork chub.
Sanchez Eldorado is on your side on this, Greg. He says it's a real term.
Yes.
And Happy
there's-
Hour
I think
and,
it's
and
2
Shanty
weeks.
says my chub has some girth.
Yeah,
So,
that's
that's
the
probably
only chub-
because he's been looking at you like intently, Greg.
It might be 2 B's on the chub when it comes to butchery.
Comes to butchery.
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 chub.
Yeah, if you're a butcher, you live in that world of butchery, the butchery world.
Butchery.
Right.
All right. So back to marry, kill, or do things
Fornicate.
nasty things with.
Well, obviously you'd want to pork.
So I'm gonna go with.
Well, what are the foods
green
we're doing,
bean-
Greg?
I'm going with green bean salad with the crunchy onion things on top that your aunt always bought for Thanksgiving.
I
That's
like that.
that's my.
So like
proposal.
green bean salad with almonds. So it's not like it's more like a casserole than a green.
Yeah, it's a
bean
casserole.
salad.
I
Got
mean,
it,
basically
okay.
everything Greg was talking about in terms of his cooking was all just versions
Yeah.
of different casseroles.
What
Okay.
a cream of mushroom soup on it, right?
Yep. And
Campbell's.
and in the Midwest, like there's soda and there's pop. In the Midwest, that's called a hot dish.
Oh,
A hot dish.
They don't
hot
call it
dish.
a casserole. No, I went up and I'm like, they're like,
hot
look, I
dish.
made hot dish, and I'm like, that's a casserole. It's a hot dish.
Those are green
Okay.
beans.
Yeah,
Okay.
those are
All right.
those little cocktail weenies. Oh,
So
all right.
your choice is green bean casserole with almonds and cream mushrooms. What was yours, Greg?
That's what I'm throwing into the ring.
Okay.
For wait, I'm sorry, for what? To marry, fuck, or kill?
Well, no, we have to get 3 choices first, Greg. So what's the food you're throwing into the mix?
Should I just Greg Pettix's shitty bolognese, a fake bolognese?
So your bolognese
pasta.
and
Which is
what
better
kind,
than
what
most
kind of
Italian
pasta?
restaurant.
What kind of pasta?
Rotelli would be awesome, but I can't afford rotelli. Usually I just have spaghetti.
You can get rotelli at like $1 a box, Greg. I don't know what.
And spaghetti is more weight per ounce.
Okay, so now you're going based upon like what you can afford.
To another episode of How Poor Is Greg?
That's how
we
I
discuss
buy.
the relative weight of different pastas,
I
all of which
literally
cost
buy
less than
food
a
that way.
quarter.
Do you get a chub of rotelli?
I get a chub just listening to him talk about the price of pasta.
That's how I buy food. I go like, how much pennies per ounce? How much?
When I buy a refrigerator, I think about these things. I don't know the last time I actually exercised brain power on a box of
I
pasta.
swear to God, though, my bolognese, even though it's like so like
Right,
ghetto,
it's better than a restaurant. We've heard
It
this
is.
about
It's
8
most-
times
most
already.
Italian restaurants I can't even go to. It's like this.
Tell us how great you are, Greg.
No, I'm not great. That's how sad Italian restaurants are. It's like, hey, you forgot to put garlic in this fucking bolognese, shithead. You fucking non-paisan. I mean,
You
how
really
dare you
running
call
into a
yourself
lot of
Italian?
Italians not knowing to use garlic? Like, are they?
No, because I think Italian restaurants know they have to like appeal to like your average white bread Americans. Like, oh, if we put too much garlic in, people will be like, ugh.
Are you just talking about that Italian restaurant that's around the corner from your house? Is that the one you're from where
No,
you
it's
live?
everyone. I've been to the best ones in town. Everyone says, Greg, you moved to this city. This is the best Italian restaurant in town. It's awesome. And I'll go and I'll be like, ugh, fuck.
Well, can we talk about just for a second that the best Italian restaurant in town is really not accomplishing much more than the best Mexican restaurant in town. It's not like it's complicated food to make.
Yeah.
Noodles,
I can't make
sauce.
great Mexican food, though. I can't make amazing. Certain Mexican restaurants, what they do is sorcery.
Obviously, in any given place, there's going to be awesome stuff. I'm just saying that now that we're back in, college or high school, whatever, I'm just saying that with.
Are we at the UN?
Yeah. No, I lost track. I don't know. Whatever.
Sorry, I distracted you with our new
You were saying the best
surroundings.
food Mexican is.
Oh, I'm just saying that if you took 20 different enchiladas and 20 different bowls of spaghetti and sauce, you'd be hard pressed to really tell the difference. I think your average palate would be hard pressed to tell the difference between the best and the worst of those.
I've never had a decent bowl of pasta in a restaurant, or
Never.
better than I could make with my shitty culinary skills. I've had enchiladas that blew my mind. I was like, oh, that's so good. I could never make that.
This feels like he's giving us a challenge, Brendan. Like when you're finally in town, he's going to make pasta for us to test to see if his particular skills are as great as he says that they are.
You know what I do?
I think we just need to invest in a GoPro. It'll be a pre-recorded segment, maybe over a couple of episodes, and we'll do that. We'll try the world's most amazing.
Yes, better than the best Italian restaurants.
Somehow
is made right in
somehow
Greg's
on a-
apartment, right by his tube of polenta.
Yeah,
Can I tell
somehow
you, like
Greg
right now,
buys.
off the bat, how simple it is a good bolognese. If you're really like Italian, my dad was Sicilian. It should be like the consistency of chili. You could eat it in a bowl with a fork, the piece of Italian bread.
Right. So basically, it's
right off
taking
the bat, I
ragu
win.
and adding
Right
more
off the bat, my
sauce.
bolognese is better than most Italian restaurants because usually it's just like a red sauce with a few chunks of meat in it,
All
like
right.
a shitty Progresso soup can or whatever. They don't get it. Nobody
They
does.
don't.
Because it
They're
costs
just
money.
ruthless
It costs money to
wops.
put lots of pork.
Really? How much money, Greg?
I don't know because I don't have that much money. But if I was a
But
restaurant,
somehow he beats all the people with the money.
He can buy
with his-
cream sherry, but he can't buy meat.
no, I can. That's why my bolognese is better than a restaurant, which I'm amazed that
So
hate
really what
restaurant.
you're just saying is they don't give you enough meat in the sauce.
That's what it sounds like to me.
And seasonings. They don't have garlic in it. Usually it's just like, hey, there's no
I'm
flavor.
pretty sure there's garlic in there.
No,
not
Italian
enough.
restaurants aren't allowed to use garlic. They're
I
know
think
they
that
can,
the, I think
but
that
they
the
don't use
staff
enough.
bathe in it.
They don't use enough. They don't use enough.
okay,
Okay.
Greg. So here's your choices then. So this is marry, kill, or screw oregano, basil, or bolognese. Which one's it gonna be, Greg?
Well, those are like two very similar things, and then something totally off the. So, okay.
What were the choices? Oregano,
Yes, basil
Oregano, I want to kill.
Basil,
I don't even
or-
like oregano. I would marry
or his
basil.
bolognese.
I love basil.
I mean,
And
he's been having
definitely-
sex with it the whole time he's been talking about it.
And then if it's a good bolognese like my dad used to make, definitely that's fuck because it was
Yeah.
meaty and it was very.
It had a high
It's like a
chub
woman on it.
content.
It was like a woman on her period.
it was
yeah.
chubby. That's what we used to call it. You're like, this spaghetti's just chubby. There's so much
With
meat
two
in here.
B's.
There's a full chub of
Well,
meat
that's how you
in
spell
this.
chubby. Greg is with two B's.
And in
Otherwise,
case
Oh,
it's
I'm saying
chubby.
chub though.
a chub,
Chub is
is
spelled with
basically
two
a
Bs.
donkey dick of
A chub with two B's is somebody's last name.
Mr.
Well, that's
Chub.
the Chubb Life Insurance Group.
Mr.
Because that's how I saw Viet Nam on PBS in the 80s. Because the Chubb.
What the hell are you talking about now?
You saw
Chub
Vietnam
life
because of
insurance group.
Chub, the insurance salesman?
All
What?
the best PBS shows in New York were like brought to you by Chubb Life Insurance with two B's. Would you like to marry us or fuck us or kill us?
That was the question that PBS always asked.
Yes.
Would you like to donate or have sex with us? Which your choice? Or kill?
But I'm sorry, the pork chub I think is spelled with two B's when you say pork chub, as opposed to hey, he's a chub. Look at that little chub walking down the street, like i.e. me.
Wait, that's actually the theme to the Monkees, isn't it?
Here we come,
Chubbing down the street,
walking down the street.
rubbing my chub on.
Hey, we're
Everyone
the
I
chubbies.
Hey, we're the chubbies.
That's our next sponsor, fake sponsor.
Oh, is it?
The chubbies.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the
Okay.
way, everybody who's listening, don't forget on July. It's going to be June 15th will be the second annual Step Up to the Bar Association and banquet party award show where we give away Quibblies to people. So that will be live here on YouTube on June 15th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Why has Greg disappeared? And now Brendan is gone. All right, well, then I'm just going to go back to the normal view. Here we go.
I was back. If I leaned to the one side, I just disappeared.
Well, this is actually a good time because I think we've got a new segment from Waspy Soda Pop.
Really?
Who,
He's back?
who's had COVID.
He's good?
So why don't I get that started? And
Glad to hear he's good.
yeah, I think so. But, maybe I'm wrong. But
Oh,
we'll see.
At Safe Mart, it's a Safe Mart. Come to Safe Mart and be safe.
Safe Mart is a proud sponsor of Food is for Eating with Waspy Soda Pop. Today's special, buzzard guts for 9 cents on the dollar. Come get some.
Food is for eating. Food is for eating. Food is for eating with Waspy Soda Pop.
Hi there, everybody. I'm Weezer Seltzer Bottle, and my grandson Waspy Soda Pop is still under the weather from the COVID, that China virus. And so he asked me to give you all his favorite recipe that I made for him when he's not feeling well. This is just simple. You can do this with your family. This is some basic, these are chicken fingers. First, you want to get 16 skinned chicken feet. You want to cut them into 1-inch strips. You get 1 beaten egg, 1 cup of buttermilk, 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder, cup of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of seasoned breadcrumbs, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I don't know what I said. I think it's 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 oil for frying. Then you want to place the chicken feet into a large resealable plastic bag in a small bowl. Mix the egg, buttermilk, and garlic powder. Pour the mixture into the bag with the chicken feet. You seal it in your refrigerator for 2 to 4 hours. Another large bag. You mix together the flour and breadcrumbs, the salt, and the baking powder. Remove your chicken feet from the refrigerator and drain. You discard the buttermilk mixture. You place the chicken feet in the flour mixture bag. You seal it. You shake it because you want to coat it, because you want to get all of the crevices of the chicken feet. Oh, good. You heat the oil in a large, heavy skillet to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, because we don't really know how to do the other thing. Carefully place. I'm having trouble talking today. You get careful. You want to carefully place the coated chicken in the hot oil. Do not put your hand in it, because you will have to go to the hospital for burns, and that's not fun. It's a lot of money. Fry the chicken fingers till golden brown and the juices run clear. You drain on paper towels. Now, I gotta tell you something. Don't eat the nails and the bones on the chicken feet unless you really want to and you like that crunchy texture clicking around in your mouth. But yeah, these are chicken fingers, but they're really chicken toes. Anyway, I'm Wheezy Seltzer Bottle. Waspy Soda Pop's still down with the China virus, and I think he's going to be okay, but we're going to see. Anyway, this is Wheezy Seltzer Bottle. Goodbye.
Is he on opioids? Wheezy Seltzer Bottle?
He sounds so sad.
Or
He
just
sounds very sad.
He did. It was just like I was depressed listening to it.
It was very quiet. I didn't want to interrupt, but it was definitely quieter
Oh yeah, I didn't have the
than we were.
on the screen. So, well, I took that opportunity because you disappeared on us. So,
Oh, don't blame me for his quietness.
well, no, I'm saying you disappeared on us, so that's why I took that opportunity to run the clip.
But no, that's the thing. If I knew there was, Wheezy was back, I would have waited.
Waspy apparently has a case of the China virus.
Wheezy's
Yeah,
back.
Yeah, the China virus has had him for so long. I haven't had my break in the middle of the show, so I've just been running away. But if I knew he was
running
back,
away, well, you should at least say something so we know that's where you're going.
I
So
don't
we
want to
could
bother the listeners won't even know.
I know, but we know because we're expecting you to respond to something.
You'll see my blackout screen.
Why can't you just say, "Hey, I'm going to go use the bathroom," and we'll go, "Okay," then we would know that was happening instead of maybe you're having problems with your connection.
I was worried about you, man.
Yeah,
Yes, very worried. But
I don't want your attention. You guys.
why don't we move on to our next segment, and then we'll get back into our regularly scheduled program. So this is something that everyone waits for every week. Here we go.
He has an opinion, may not always be right. He's a real fake lawyer. He's old and he's white. Ask him a question, 'cause he's a good egg. For bogus advice, ask Greg. Ask Greg? Ask Greg!
All right, so on this episode this edition, or this something of Ask Greg, Brendan, do you have a legal question that somebody has written you to ask Greg? And if anybody's on YouTube and has a legal question for Greg, please do it now.
Looking now.
involving this steampunk.
YouTube, though, Sanchez says Waspy is a villain for sure, and then he said he looked just like Walter Houston. He did. He looked exactly like Walter.
He did look like Walters, and he sounds like you a little.
Wheezy. What was his name?
Wheezy Seltzer Bottle.
We had
Seltzer
Seltzer
Bottle?
2 weeks in a row.
So how come he has a different name though? Is he related to?
He's the
Waspy?
maternal grandfather of.
Oh, so he's a different name.
Different last name, yeah, exactly.
Oh, different last name. Okay, so I have here, Dear Greg, I've been watching with a lot of interest the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. And I was curious to know, since they were married at the time that Miss Heard shit, or I should say pooped, on Mr. Depp's bed, is that not a common law child of the two of them and should have been taken care of as opposed to dumped in the garbage by the maid? Sincerely, Julie.
So this also brings up some current shit we talked about last week about abortion and like, when is a life a life?
When is a turd a turd?
Yeah.
I don't know if we got that deep into when a life was a life, Greg.
Well, I mean, that's the issue of abortion. That's basically the crux of the debate.
Okay.
Is when, and you could say a poop is still got like living organisms in it.
Well, some people could say that this podcast is an abortion.
Yeah, it is. It's a horror show. It's an abortion.
It's an abortion. I don't even understand it. That guy with the goggles.
There is a message from TikTok for you, Greg, which is that Jesus loves you and he gave his life so you can live and live life more abundantly. God bless. So,
duh. I know that.
Someone from TikTok had a message for you.
Of course, I'm here because of Jesus loving me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a given. Who doesn't know that? Thanks for nothing, TikTok.
I didn't know it.
But so yeah, it's that's so they disposed of the poop. You're saying I didn't even know of this before, to be honest. But as a lawyer,
apparently the poop was scooped up by the one of Mr. Depp's house staff, and they
was a professional pooper scooper.
They just tossed it in the garbage without even a thought
without even a DNA test.
That this was possibly the love child of Amber and Johnny. Their whole relationship was truly just a big piece of shit. So,
because the poop does have living, it's still living. There's living organisms in it, parasites. So I mean, it's kind of murder. They killed that poop baby, that little brown baby.
It was like an Uncle Remus story.
The tar baby.
And then they killed the poop baby.
The fecal baby.
We called him fecal around town.
But I think what she tried to, basically, she did something noble. She said, hey, here's our baby. She didn't do anything wrong, but whoever disposed of it, that's where the murder happened.
Oh, the disposal person was the
yes.
Right. All right, good. Well, I will let Julie know. Thank you so much for your legal advice.
Yes, Greg is amazing at his legal acumen.
Should we keep doing this segment?
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. This is one of the best things we do, Greg.
Have our ratings gone through the roof since?
Occasionally we spike. I don't know why we do, but occasionally it happens. We get like a bunch of listens in a particular week over like 5 times as much as we normally have. Don't know why it happens. It just occasionally happens. Can't explain it.
As long as the overall average, is escalating. I mean, that was one of the things I learned about the whole industry is that they're counting all the listens from 15 months ago to yesterday to, it's accumulative anyway.
So as long as we stick with it.
Yeah, that's part of it. You're just out there enough that somebody's going to, like a serial killer, they're just going to stumble across you and then, that's it. You're dead.
We should maybe in coming weeks discuss how there's a lot of serial killers who are probably not happy because bodies are starting to emerge in different lakes in different parts of the country. And it's quite fascinating as the waters are receding because of climate change. Bodies are now are appearing now in different places.
It's going to be a new golden age of serial killers. They're
going to be like, wait a second, I thought that
hasn't been like the 70s or the early 80s that it's been as good as it's going to be.
Right.
I read this thing once. It was from the point of view. It was like a comic book from the point of view of a serial killer. Really well written, and it said this thing that was so terrifying to me was like all this famous serial killers, those are the failures. There's guys out there who spent like 40 years, their whole lives, just killing. Their numbers are probably like 300 deaths. We don't know about those people because they haven't been caught.
Well, I do have another question for you, Greg, another legal question. Okay. So if you're a serial killer, but you only kill members of boy bands, is it really a crime?
Unfortunately, it is. There's nothing on the books that say, because boy bands aren't doing anything. It's not
But
self-defense.
it could be considered a public service.
Mercy
True, or
killing.
self-defense from you're going mad from hearing the shitty music. So it's like I have to kill them to stop it, so they don't assault my eardrums. But on the books, technically, it's still a human life, unfortunately. Just like, abortion doctors. You can't kill them either, unfortunately. Those murderers.
Are abortion doctors in boy bands?
No, but they're murdering scum or murdering little pieces of tissue.
You haven't heard of the Young
Like turds.
Abortionists? The Young Abortionists was a kind of a folk boy band from the early 2000s.
Oh, they're the back
They were-
alley boys, is what they are.
That was a totally different thing.
Coat hanger.
That was some
Boys.
former Catholic priests that formed a
This is the
Disco-
new coat hangers on the block.
disco fusion thing. No.
Yeah, so it's not a crime. I mean, it is a crime. You can't murder boy band members.
Oh,
But
okay, well,
you're
that's-
right. It is a public service. Just like vigilante killings, technically it's still against the law to, like, if you're Charles Bronson and you want to go on the street and kill a bunch of guys with green mohawks.
Ooh, a Charles Bronson reference. We haven't had one of those doing this.
Yeah,
shit.
like in Death Wish 3. I mean, he went out and killed some guys that deserve killing, but technically the law would still prosecute him and say, that's not your job. That's the police.
I think it was either Death Wish 2 or Death Wish 3 that Jimmy Page did the soundtrack for.
Really?
From Led Zeppelin, yes.
How was he slumming like that?
That was like one of the
He's like-
first things he did after Led Zeppelin broke up. He was started
I
doing
know, but he's like the biggest rock
soundtracks.
star in the world. He's like, yeah, I'm going to do the shittiest movie.
Well, yeah, but Charles Bronson was a big name at the time,
I know, but
even though it was Death Wish 2 or 3.
yeah, exactly. That's sad.
It's in the early days of popular sequels when the sequels are just, really bad.
But then Death Wish 4, though, Jimmy Page did not do that soundtrack.
No, he only did like
I'm
one
sure
of
that was Frank Stallone did the soundtrack to that one. Or Peter Lemongello.
It was Sylvester Stallone's abortion that did the soundtrack to Death Wish 4.
A turd he took. One of those
Dirty
big-
McStallone.
All right, so we should get back to our client. Thank you, Greg. That was another segment of Ask Greg. We made an attempt at a romance advice, but I don't think that's going to go very far with the name Darling Matt. So we're going to have to shelve that till later.
Oh,
I like that romance advice.
I'm gonna.
'Cause I love the idea of a
We'll have
guy
to come
with
up with a
no
different
sense
title,
of
though.
romance.
Darling
I
Matt
love-
just didn't roll off the tongue very well.
It doesn't matter. I love the fact that you have like a smaller heart than I do, and no idea of romance, giving romance advice. That was beautiful.
No idea of romance, Greg.
That would like be me giving financial advice. We should-
Then how would you say that I got 2 women to marry me, Greg?
And just blind luck. Whatever.
It was blind luck. There was, well, probably there wasn't much romance involved knowing who I am.
Exactly.
So-
You've told me stories.
What
about
difference
courting-
would it make whether you could see or not relative to luck? It doesn't even make any. So you say blind luck. So the luck was blind. Who gives it? What does that even mean?
That's what Greg is saying, is that I got lucky. That's how women marry me. It didn't involve
Can I tell
any
a story out of
romantic
school, Matt?
romantic
I-
overtures on my part. is
No,
what
I
I'm
understand that, but I'm just saying, how could being blind? Why is blind the?
Oh, so
Okay,
we're
death luck.
just discussing the idiom blind
Yeah.
luck.
Luck.
Right. Okay. So now we're just going to talk about that. So
I
where does
don't
that
know.
term come from? Blind luck.
Well, no, we could get back to talking about whatever Greg was talking about, but I was trying to change the subject.
Yeah, I was going to say something like maybe too personal for Matt, but Matt's told me some stories about his courtships of his 2 wives that are like, nobody does that. You're a fucking weirdo.
What are you talking about? The thing involving the other thing?
What are you, Tony Soprano, all of a sudden? Oh, the thing involving the other thing.
Tune in
With the
again
guy.
to
With the guy.
Vague
and the thing,
Podcast.
and the guy.
We
You know
actually
what I'm
just
talking
say
about?
things and speaking vague pronouns and terms that no one can figure out.
Hey, Big Blissy. I'm talking about the thing with the guy And the thing,
wait a
the guy
minute.
who
You
did
mean
the thing.
the guy with the nose and the ears? That guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
22 times. Yeah.
That, yeah.
Good
Was
thing.
that is Tony Two Nose?
No, he only had one nose. He only had one nose.
That was a
fucking
callback
guy.
too.
He was a fucking guy.
Oh,
That
yeah,
was a
Johnny
callback to
Two Nose.
Dodgy Daycare.
Yeah, but he was a guy that knew that other fucking guy. We told him don't fucking go do the thing with the guy, but he wouldn't
Do
fucking
the thing.
did it.
Just don't do the thing. You don't do the thing with the guy.
Fucking guy.
It's always
you don't do
fascinating
that.
to me how we go off the rails, but man, we do. We really do go off the rails. But
On a
it's
crazy
always the
trip.
question is like, how is it going to happen? At what point do we lose all focus and wind up elsewhere completely?
Well, it
different
was the
from where we
thing.
started.
It was the thing. The thing was what started the whole other thing.
It
Was
was the
that
thing.
guy? Right.
I think we've only done 2 of the kill, marry, sex things. We didn't get very far with it.
I don't think we ever determined what we were doing with the green bean salad.
Oh, it was the basil, it was.
Oh, yeah, you
we-
changed
No,
it.
you
Oregano.
did the green bean casserole, and we didn't get
And then-
2
and
more
then-
items.
And
We
then
got
Greg was
distracted.
pimping it was the Greg cooking show where he was pimping his ghetto
His bolognese.
bolognese sauce. And then you did
His bourgeoisie.
bourgeoisie. So we've got green bean casserole, fucking Greg's
Bourgeoisie.
Greg's apocalypse.
Bourgeoisie.
And I'm going to throw in, all
Apocalypse
right,
City.
so for number 3, lutefisk.
Ooh.
Oh, fuck it, kill it, bury it in the ground, rape
Wow.
it.
Well, this is
I
one of
tried
those that
lutefisk.
leads off with everybody I think knows what the fuck
I
needs to be
actually
killed.
tried lutefisk once. I tried it, and it's like, yes, this tastes like lye.
It's horrible.
That should not be a thing. Nobody wants to eat lye. It's not.
So I think it's pretty
Like,
universal.
could I
that
take a swig of your dishwashing detergent, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, exactly. It's so disgusting. It's like ammonia. Ammonia. Delicious.
Mm,
So
Bleach.
that just
tasty.
really that's a kill. I think we're all in agreement that lutefisk is killed.
I want to do worse than kill it, though. I want to torture it. I want to sodomize it.
You can just why, Greg?
I don't know.
You can just exile it if you don't want it near you, as opposed to
I
like
guess. I want to
doing-
punish it, though. I want to punish.
showing us your true nature. Right.
I want
now.
to punish. It should not
Is it
exist.
really what I mean, what are we gonna gain out of punishing?
I mean, I, think
I want a
killing
final
is enough.
solution. I
Killing
want a
is
final
enough.
solution for lutefisk. Fight
Lutefisk, guys,
No,
time.
forever.
Great
Find
game.
a solution.
Here goes TikTok.
Sorry, Matt.
We're down to 2 people on TikTok.
We're
right now.
triggering Matt.
But we do have 319 likes, though.
Wow. Is that
Damn.
different than normal?
Yeah, it is. Remember how earlier we were at 29?
Oh, really? So this episode, we jumped up to 319?
Yeah, we went from 29 to 319.
I told you cooking is a thing, Matt. You said cooking.
He's always looking for validation for his ideas from other people.
You know what?
Apparently it's happened. I
Greg-
got validated.
Yeah, it's good, Greg. You did a great job.
Thanks.
You did good.
Thanks, Brock.
I'd give you a sticker or a balloon or something.
I feel like Brett Kavanaugh right now. I want to high five you.
I really want there to be an episode sometime where it's just you 2 talking and then I'm not involved, because I really want to see what that conversation would be if I'm
Well,
like,
no one on TikTok would hear it. Anything. People on TikTok would be like,
be the
"Oh,
most
it's exciting."
popular TikTok episode.
well, no,
ever.
I could make it work if I wasn't involved, because then I could just turn up the sound and do it so they could hear it from there and put the camera on the screen. But here it's got to
Why
be
can't
like,
you do that now?
because I'll get feedback from my computer if I
Oh,
do that. If I have the microphone on and the sound coming from the laptop, that'll cause feedback. So that's why I can't do it now, Greg. You should know this. You work sound. You should know things like this.
I don't work sound. I'm a KJ. I don't
That's
know what
part
that
of-
board is. I have this big board of knobs. I don't know what they do.
He blinded me with science.
It's
like
blind
those-
luck.
It's like those
It's blind
blinking
luck. See,
lights
right
on
back
Star
there.
Trek. Remember the Star Trek behind Lieutenant Uhura's head? There'd be blinking lights. Those didn't do shit. That's
Uh-huh.
what I'm like with the soundboard. It's like, oh, dude, look at the knobs and the colors.
But the knobs do something, though, Greg.
Sure, but I don't know what they do.
But that's different from the Star Trek example you gave, where the things don't do anything.
Wouldn't only have colored lights. I'm sure maybe you could press the lights if you knew Star Trek sites.
It's a set, Greg. It's not functional.
Well, I mean, if you lived 1,000 years from now, you might know that, that blue light, after I press it, it'll do a photon blaster to a Klingon warship. But we don't know that.
Years from now.
It's like a bunch of
I'm sure they're still using blue lights that you push 1,000 years.
They did Star Trek, though. That's what I'm saying. It was ridiculous.
Well, I mean, that was the 1960s.
Star Trek wasn't actually ahead 1,000 years either.
You gotta give them credit though for the.
Give him credit for the what?
Star Trek with the flip phone, the communicator. They're like, "Hello."
Yep, they invented the cell phone.
Yeah,
that's pretty visionary.
I don't know if they invented it, Greg, but they came up with the idea.
Yeah, they invented
and I don't know if it came up from Star Trek or from some other science fiction story, though.
But you know what?
Star Trek could I didn't realize you were an intellectual property firm.
Yeah, you know what I think?
Well, sometimes we do dabble in those cases.
Yeah. The one thing from Star Trek that, oh my God, if it was real, this would be the best invention ever made in the history of mankind. Better than fire, better than the wheel. The thing that makes this food, fabricates food in Next Generation, where you'd be like, hey, I want some of Greg Pettick's shitty bolognese on some mortelli with Matt Bracci's liverwurst display. Whatever you want, it'll make it instantly. No matter what you want to eat, at any instant, you can just go, I want to eat sushi with Spam on it and drizzle with barbecue sauce. Bam, you got it.
Yeah, that would be something that would end world hunger. That's true.
Holodeck.
No, it wouldn't just end world hunger. It would be the best thing for the quality of life. Whatever you want to eat.
But I have a feeling that all of those dishes probably all taste the same.
Yeah, taste like plastic or something. I think
they all taste like chicken.
They'll all be molded to look like something fancy. But the baked Alaska will actually taste like feet.
Like I mean, they can literally 3D print food right now. They could make your food look like all kinds of things. But it all just tastes like
but this is different. This is a replicator.
Soylent Green.
It actually takes the atoms and just makes it. You can get cocoa va and just it would make cocoa va, delicious cocoa va.
Is that's how that's pronounced, Greg? Cocoa va.
Cocoa boo.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I've never had cocoa va, but I know it's fancy French cooking.
Cocoa va.
Cocoa va?
How do you pronounce it?
I don't pronounce it because I don't know how to pronounce that French word.
Yeah, there you go. So stop giving me shit.
But it's not va. I know that. It's spelled V-I-N.
Cocoa va. No, that's how French people say that. Cocoa va. Cocoa va. Cocoa va.
I was speaking of French thing.
They don't say cocoa vienne. They go cocoa vienne.
But it's not spelled like something that would be spelled va, Greg.
No, because it's French. It's fancy. French equals fancy.
We're gonna go to the French.
Would you like some bologna sandwich or white bread? $1 white bread. It sounds better when you say it like that. Would you like some Braunschweiger on Wonder Bread? Oh, with red onion.
So the question is, what are you going to marry? You're going to marry or fornicate with green bean salad or Greg's spaghetti sauce and noodles with extra hamburger, so it's like chili.
Basically, he's just described chili as what he's described.
No,
it's not. It's what I used to cook around for the kids. I would call it chilgetti, which I'd make chili, and instead of I'd put in a bunch of fucking noodles.
Chilgetti?
Yeah, chilgetti.
That's right. Or
I'm just saying the consistency.
Or it's maca stupid.
Bolognese should be that thick. It should be. You could just eat it with a fork.
I'm just curious where you get your legal information from regarding how thick a bolognese should be.
It's not legal. It's aesthetic.
Well, no, you're saying it should be that thick. So obviously
it should be.
Why? Why do you have that? Why do you think that's true?
Because I want to eat good food, and somebody says, "Hey, I'm going to make you
Right, but what
bolognese,"
makes you think that that's the best way to make it?
Because I've tried the other ones and they suck.
Just because you were raised with it one way, so you're basically just
with the
comparing it to your.
a brilliant chef for a father, Sicilian guy. Yeah,
Just because he's Sicilian and he made it a particular way that you enjoyed doesn't mean it's good, Greg. It just means that you have fond memories of it, is what it means.
My dad was a rich dentist on his own, but if he opened a restaurant, it would have been like 5-star rated.
I know, but that's your nostalgia talking.
It would have been Michelin guy.
That's your love for your father talking,
it's not.
Greg.
It
is totally. You know, I think you just don't have it. You don't have taste buds where you can actually make these particular statements, Greg.
No, I don't have the culinary skills to make these.
Or the taste buds, really, to know what's better.
I know it's
because you smoke too much. It's destroyed your taste buds. You don't know.
No, I'm saying, but I didn't smoke when I was 12, and I knew that even when I was 12 and 15, and even I didn't smoke till I was 30, where I was just like, oh my god, Italian food is bad. That's not Italian food. That's not what my dad made.
Well, your dad makes Sicilian food. He doesn't make Italian food. That's the difference.
No, Italians it's the same thing, but Sicilians are better at bolognese than the boot.
What about the people who live in Bolognese? Do they make it better than the Sicilians?
No.
In Bologna?
Bologna. Peanut butter and bologna sandwiches also.
All right, we'll just do 3 different sandwiches real quick to wrap up the show. So, name a sandwich. Name a sandwich, Greg.
A Philly cheesesteak.
Okay. Brendan, sandwich.
Peanut butter and bologna.
I'm going to go for egg salad.
Well, I love egg salad.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm going to kill the bologna and peanut butter. I'm going to
good choice.
I'm going to fuck the Philly's cheesesteak, and I'm going to marry the egg salad.
Yes, because egg salad's got staying power. Especially
yeah, but so does Brendan.
As you become an old man, you're going to love egg salad. That's like an old man.
That's why
like when you're at the senior citizen home, you're going to be like, egg salad, please. I'm 90.
It's yummy when you're a kid. It's yummy until you're really old. It's eggs. It's easy. It's simple.
It's good shit.
Mash it up. Nothing to chew.
You can actually put Braunschweiger on it.
You could if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But a good Philly cheesesteak with all that gooey cheese.
Oh.
Right. The gillet,
my dick would fit so good in that. Oh my god.
Perfect. It's all kind of warm. No.
Gooey.
The choice is obvious.
I like how you keep using the word gooey. Someone has just asked, do you give mustache rides to me on TikTok?
Yes. Do you? Yeah, absolutely.
Only for like really tiny horsemen.
I will toss your salad for a good review on Facebook.
Toss your egg salad.
YouTube. Like and subscribe.
But how much are your mustache rides, man? What do you charge?
Well, it would be like whatever the coins are used by tiny little horsemen.
I would have
to shave it off so they could write it, though.
But the weirdest thing is I was a little boy. Mustache rides were a nickel, 5 cents, and they still are. I still see the T-shirts.
Well, obviously, it's inflation proof.
Mustache, I know it's bizarre. Like milk. When I was a little boy, you could buy a gallon of milk for 3 tuppence, and now
a threepence.
3 tuppence. Yeah.
Is that similar to a chub? How many threepence in a chub? That's what I need to know.
You could buy a
5
pound of butter
threepences per chub
for 5 shekels, but a mustache rides was a nickel when I was a boy, and it's still a nickel. I still see the T-shirts. Mustache rides, 5 cents.
So whenever you have the question asked, ask gas or gas, no one rides for free. What is the cost of those 3 items?
It depends on if you have enough ass gas or grass to offer.
I've always wondered that. First time I saw that when I was like a teenager, I was like, ass, gas, or grass, no one rides for me. I'm like, why do they want lawn?
No, I guess basically you gotta put up your ass though. It doesn't even say fucking. It's like no anal sex.
They just want you to fart in their face.
Yeah, if you get a ride for someone, if you hitchhike and get a ride, if you don't have gas money, if you don't have grass money, you gotta just do anal with the person who gave you a ride.
Well, that's a good point to stop at in this conversation.
No, but I've heard
Oh,
that was a
jeez.
thing. When
I
you were a
just was like,
hitchhiker in the
okay,
50s,
guys are
60s, when you were a hitchhiker in the 50s and 60s, truckers would pick you up if you were a dude. Yeah, that was a thing. You might have to.
I got picked up by a guy, not a
Oh,
semi
yes,
truck.
Brendan has a story like this.
In the 50s?
Yeah, I got picked up by a truck.
No, not in the 50s, but
No, in the mid 80s.
yes, it was a thing. Truckers are lonely.
But why
Any
don't you
whole
let
dude.
Brendan finish telling the story, Greg?
But he wasn't a trucker though. I'm saying he was just a guy in a truck. He wasn't like
Oh.
a semi trucker or something.
Yeah.
I couldn't have jumped out of probably a semi truck as well as I could have
A pickup
whatever the brand of Ford he was driving at the time.
How old were you then when this occurred?
I was 16.
Oh, scary.
I was 16. I told my mom, she was sitting there smoking a cigarette, reading Louis L'Amour or some other garbage.
soap opera.
Sure
digest.
wasn't Boy's
Some-
Life she was reading?
It's something. But anyway, I said, I'm leaving. And she's like, where are you going? I said, San Francisco. And she's like, okay, funny. I'll see you when you get back. I'm like, okay. And I hitchhiked to San Francisco.
Oh. Did she ever see you when you got back?
I called her shortly after the run-in with the guy just outside of Crescent, just on the other side of Crescent City, California. So he picked me up in Oregon.
I actually
Ironically.
stayed in a hotel room in Crescent City, California once.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like now, but back then it was all just scary. Anyway, I didn't
Probably
call
about
her.
the same. Yeah.
Yeah, I called her and she's like, "Where are you?" And this is, payphone shit. And I'm like,
Were you were actually like turning the ringing up, hey, all ships at sea.
Mother, it's me. I'm in the war.
I want
But
to hear. I
anyway,
want to talk to Barney 713.
I called her and she was really pissed at me. And she goes, "When are you coming home?" I said, "When I get back from San Francisco." Anyway,
Okay. And how was San Francisco?
San Francisco's great. I saw Metallica in this, literally like a VFW hall.
Wait, Metallica was a band then? What year was this again?
Yeah, it's like early '80s, mid '80s.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
they-
That's right.
they
They were
were
starting to get
like
popular
the
like about
mid-80s.
83, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, they were starting coming out. They were out of San Francisco, and
But they weren't like the number one band in America in the mid 80s. They were
No,
like,
at that time,
no.
the biggest,
just a great
I
metal
think,
band.
I guess the biggest hair band at the time was like Def Leppard.
Yeah, which is a very different animal.
yeah, no, exactly. So I was
Leopard. or
skateboarding around with
Metallicoid.
a bunch of punk rock kids, and they're like, "You got to go see these dirt rockers. They're going to be big." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
I know. I refused to listen to them because I hated their name.
Really?
Yeah, I just thought Metallica was just a stupid freaking name, and I'm like, you know what? I don't need to listen to these guys. So I never
But
listened.
you lost out.
Wow, I was going to say you missed some really good music, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, I caught up to it years later, but
Yeah.
for many years there, I was just like, no, I'm not going to listen to it. And I was kind of phasing out of my heavy metal years anyway at that stage. So
Yeah, because I mean, there isn't a band that's got better name than like Yes or Blue Oyster Cult.
well, no,
I mean, these are
yes,
classic
later, but
names.
Blue Oyster
Or
Cult
Jeff
really.
O'Connell.
There's not a much better group name than Blue Oyster Cult, really.
I could think. I don't know.
I mean, isn't
That's
it
a
one of the
cool
more creative names for a band?
What
I
is?
gotta say.
Did you ever find out, Matt? What's the oyster? Why'd they make their
I
name?
never looked it up. I just thought it was
You
kind of a
never
fun
looked it
name.
up?
No, I never did.
Yeah, it sounds so cool, but when you think about Blue Oyster, it's like, I don't know, like
And then there's a cult
Red.
around it.
red muscle.
Maybe it's like a sexual reference.
I don't know. There are types of oysters that are called blue points. There are blue point oysters. They're up in
There's
the
also Blue
northwest.
Point Siamese cats too.
Maybe they're not in the north. They're either up in the northwest or they're out in Baltimore area.
All right, so Greg, Metallica, Def Leppard, or Blue Oyster Cult? Which ones?
What was the third one?
Blue Oyster Cult.
Cult. Def Leppard or
Oh.
Metallica?
Who are you gonna fornicate?
Okay,
Who
I
you gonna-
definitely want to marry Blue Oyster Cult.
Oh,
'Cause-
okay.
That's a band that I could live with for the rest of my life. They got, it's not just like one note. It sounds like, oh yeah, they got like their. I mean, Blue Oyster Cult had a fucking 50s song, True Confessions on Agents of Fortune. Yeah, they were all over the place.
Uh-huh.
desert island dish shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I could listen to all their shit.
Yeah.
Metallica definitely fuck. 'Cause they were hot. And Def Leppard, yeah, I could easily kill. I think I kind of like Photograph. Like when I saw it on TV, I was like, this is a decent top 40 song. But other than that, I could give two shits about Def Leppard. Yeah, so
Okay.
kill them.
Gotcha. Brandon?
I would. I think I would marry Metallica.
Lars, specifically.
Maybe. Kill. Boy. I think I'd have to kill Def Leppard because there's no way I could kill Blue Oyster Cult. So I guess I would fuck Blue Oyster Cult. You know,
All
they're
right.
just yeah, they're not my thing. They're not. It's like one of those things. They're not my thing, but it's a kink, and I can totally get into it for a little while and then go, okay, I've had enough.
And then you would toss them aside like a little whore.
I would ghost the shit out of Blue Oyster Cult. I would just be like, don't even try to call me. Fucking
Yeah.
It's kind of like what they did with their career. They kind of ghosted the rest of the world.
Yeah, that's true.
They put out a couple of albums, and then I was like, where'd they go? But then, you know, the guys from Happy Hour News Team, they have like a recent song of Blue Oyster Cult that they used for their Florida Man segment because it's called Florida Man.
Oh yeah, that's
Blue
right.
Oyster Cult. All right, well, what was the name of
Wait,
the
no,
client
Matt.
again? What?
I know you didn't do yours.
Oh shit. All right, so just to change things up, marry Def Leppard, kill Metallica, sex with Blue Oyster Cult.
You don't even
All right.
believe that. You just said that to be different.
Well, you know, that's usually how I apply things in my life anyway, Greg.
Well,
Yeah.
two out of three were different.
Well, it's okay. I guess I should have mixed up the other two. But no, I kind of want to kill Metallica anyway. So
Well,
I know you would want to marry Blue Oyster Cult.
mathematically, it doesn't totally work out. You're going to probably end up agreeing.
I
with
kind
one
of go
us.
based upon how many songs of each band I do at karaoke. So I do more songs of Blue Oyster Cult than I do of Def Leppard, but I do more songs
Really?
of Def Leppard than I do of Metallica at karaoke. So that's kind of how I'm gauge. That's my gauge, Greg.
That's got to be a Portland thing. I am sure that if I went to a karaoke bar, Def Leppard would be the number one.
No,
song.
it's hard. That's the thing. Karaoke, if the song's hard to do.
Well, I'm
Yes.
saying that I'm not doing it based upon how hard the song is. I'm saying how many ones that I do.
No, I'm saying though, Brendan's.
Yeah, but
idea
he's
sounds
saying
right.
that if the
Def
song
Leppard
is
has some
hard,
huge hits,
yeah,
but
see,
nobody was. There's bands like Mariah Carey. You know, I haven't heard Mariah Carey once. Something like KJ, even though she had more top 40 hits than a lot of people, she's hard to sing. So people are like, "Oh, I love Mariah Carey." We don't, but other people do.
right?
So
but
you never hear it at karaoke because it's hard to do.
no,
Anyway,
that's
Def
Well, I
Leppard's
didn't want to
hard
get
to
into
do.
like those issues regarding karaoke. I was just giving my rationale.
No, I know. I was giving another rationale.
I
to
know
Brendan.
it's just that Brendan doesn't like it when we talk about karaoke.
Oh, no, I don't give a shit. I was going to say that makes total sense. But in Florida, that little, person on your shoulder that says, "Hey, don't try to sing that song. You're going to sound like an idiot." He doesn't exist. Meth will drive him away. So they'll go out and sing fucking, the police.
So the guy riding the crocodile into the bar would be like,
I can totally do this.
That's because the crocodile will be part of the duet.
They have high pitched voice, crocodiles. They have a very high.
They make a bird like chirping noise when they're children to call their mother.
Really?
Interesting.
Could you do that for us?
It's sort of like this. It's like
That's adorable.
yeah, it's kind of cute.
I think we just have our opening sequence for the podcast when I edit it
Dude.
now.
Yeah.
I didn't
realize I did Gator, but I do.
Apparently, you do Gator. Well, this has been another episode of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble Bicker with our special edition of what the hell is the name of the client again?
Kill,
Okay.
marry, fornicate your lunch.
Right. Kill, marry, or fornicate, or pork your lunch.
I.e., cooking.
Or cooking.
Or
Right.
cooking Greg's amazing spaghetti.
Bolognese.
Spaghetti.
It's actually, he calls it
Bolognese.
Bolognese so that he can have sex with his own sauce.
I would if it was legal.
I got that like the third time he told us about
it. All right, this has been the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble Bicker. We are now shutting down the live streams. Goodbye, live streams. Thank you for 538 likes on TikTok. Wow. It ended with 538 likes on TikTok.
I told you this would be our best episode.
Enough
ever.
with the I told you whatever.
I told
That's
you.
why girls don't stay with you, Greg. It's the
this
I told
is
you
our best
thing.
episode ever. That's the best episode we've ever done.
This episode ever.
You said that about the last episode.
Every episode is the best ever. It's always getting a little bit better every time.
That was a good episode, though.
Your consultation with the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker has ended. You may pay your retainer at www.qsblaw.org. Please exit to the right of the water cooler and grab a candy from the front desk. We hope to see you again soon, but you need to leave now. I said leave. Why don't they even listen? Get out! Get out!